Disturbing headline from Danville, Virginia. A city councilman intentionally doused with flammable liquid and set on fire. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Crazy.
Tonight, a horrific crime in broad daylight. A city councilman from Danville, Virginia, doused with gasoline and set on fire.
What's up, guys? It's Lee Vogler.
Councilman Lee Vogler confronted inside the office of a local magazine where he also worked.
An individual forced his way into our office carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline and poured the gasoline on Lee. Lee attempted to flee, ran to the front of the building. The individual followed him and set him on fire.
Vogler, elected in 2012, then the youngest member of the city council.
As you guys know, for 13 years, I've never missed a meeting.
Tonight, witnesses say that before the councilman was airlifted to a North Carolina hospital, he identified his attacker as 29-year-old Shotzi Buck Hayes. Police arrested Buck Hayes after he allegedly fled the scene. Authorities say the suspect's motive involves a personal matter not related to the victim's position on Danville City Council or any other political affiliation.
Okay, so if it's a personal matter, has to be some form of maybe relationship, maybe a cheating type of thing. I don't know. I am just assuming it will probably come out in later news. But for a person to decide that they're going to walk in someone's office with 5 gallons worth of gasoline, all right? So that means that a 5-gallon tank, and said, I'm going to go for that particular person. That's personal. That's personal. It has to do with maybe a wife or something like that, because men are very protective of their wives, okay, of the women who is gracing them with their bodies. So that's what I think it is, but I could be wrong.
Tonight, the suspect is being held without bond in the Danville City Jail. He's facing a charge of attempted first-degree murder. David?
What an awful.
Crazy. Yeah, he needs to be locked up. He needs to be in a loony bin. And if he decided to do that based off of maybe, the councilman was checking out his wife, or maybe maybe the councilman and his wife was fooling around, we don't know. We can only speculate. I mean, that's very sad for this man to have gone through this, and I hope that he recovers, because it's not right. Nobody deserves that. But let's check out another video and see what they say.
Where we're learning a city councilman was doused in gasoline and lit on fire in an attack at his office. Police say the suspect walked into the office of Lee Vogler at the local media outlet where he works, confronting Vogler before covering him in gas. He then ran out of the building, where the suspect ignited the fire on Vogler's body, according to police. That person is in custody and could not be reached for comment. But I want to bring in Aaron Gilchrist, who's joining us now. Just horrific details on the story. Aaron, is there any indication this may have been politically motivated?
Well, Hallie, the Danville City Police Department made it a point to say that the suspect and the councilman know each other. They are acquaintances, and that this was an assault that was a result of a personal matter, not a political affiliation or related to his job as a member of the city council there in Danville. So let me back up a little bit here to what
I just want to make sure that people know. This is not any Democrat or liberal dousing some Republican, because you know how some of y'all conservatives will be. Fox, stop it, okay? This is a personal situation, which I feel has to be something with a man's wife or something like that, or, who knows, maybe a child, I don't know, okay? Because it's what man in their right mind would just douse somebody in gasoline and then light them up and stuff like that and saying, toasty. No. It reminds me of that sheriff who murked the judge in the judge's office and stuff like that. I'll put the video up. I did a video on that months ago. I'll put the video up and stuff like that. Please check it out. And please, if you haven't already, like the video. make some comments and subscribe to this channel. That will greatly help me out. Really appreciate it and love you guys. Thank you. But yes, I feel that this has to be a situation where maybe the councilman was getting down with his wife and the guy confronted him saying, "Yo, listen, homeboy, you got to stop." And maybe the councilman was like, "I'm never going to stop." He was like P. Diddy, "Can't stop, won't stop." And he said, "Okay, I got something for you. Douche, ablaze." That's how it be sometimes. Now, like I said, I could be wrong, but also I could be right. I could be right.
We know about what happened, and this is details coming from both the city police department and Mr. Vogler's boss. City council is a part-time job. His full-time boss, or colleague, I should say, was able to sort of shine some light on the details here. It was about 11:30 this morning, we understand, when someone forced his way into this small office building on Main Street in Danville, according to one of the workers there, and went directly toward Lee Vogler. And then we understand he was carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gas. That's how it was described by his coworker, and threw that gasoline on Mr. Vogler, who then ran toward the front door to get out of the building, yelling for someone to call 911, and then was set on fire in those moments after that happened. We understand now that police have arrested this acquaintance, a 29-year-old. His name is Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes. And he has been charged with attempted first-degree murder as well as aggravated malicious wounding as a result of the attack earlier today. I want you to hear what one of Mr. Vogler's colleagues had to say about this incident that happened inside their office earlier today.
This type of senseless act of violence has to stop. You do not have the right as a human being to get upset with someone enough to lash out and attempt to harm them in any way, much less this way.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, sometimes some people, you just want to, yoke up and stuff like that. But like, he could have took it to court, yo. That's what I would have did. I would have took him to court. I would have sued him, sued my wife. If that's the case, I don't know. It could be some money situation too, because he said that city councilman is a part-time job and this is a full-time job. Maybe he owed the guy some money. Maybe the guy said, "Hey, listen, Lee, can you please pay me back?" And he kept dodging him. Who knows? We don't know. We can only speculate, and you're gonna hear a lot of speculation. But one thing I have to say is that I wish that this man lives, and I wish that he makes a full recovery, because nobody deserves that. Well, I can't say nobody, all right? Serial killers, monsters, yeah, they do deserve, that type of treatment. But this guy didn't deserve it. Come on, now he's just doing his thing, man.
Now, I think it's important to point out in that same social media post, we were told that Mr. Vogler was awake and talking when he was taken away by medics earlier today. The city police department saying that he was flown to a regional medical center there in that area. Hallie, this is Danville, Virginia is a small city, about 40,000 or so people in what we call Southside Virginia. It's right on the North Carolina border. And Mr. Vogler had served on the city council there since 2012. He was in his early 20s when he was elected to office there, and has been a member of the city council since then, and obviously worked at this small media company as well that serves that Southside, Southern Virginia, Northern North Carolina area.
The man been in politics for a while, very young, 24, that's crazy. And, since 2012, that's 13 years. So he's about, 37? All right, but I'm glad that he was alert and describing to them like who it was. But it's crazy. My brothers and my sisters out there, please be careful. Be careful. You don't know who might hate on you. You might be doing something and you don't know. A person next to you just says, "Listen, I got something for you." So please be safe. Be very careful. Be very careful who you have as acquaintances, as even friends, because friends could become enemies. You never know. So you just have to be very careful out there and do what you got to do. Well, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like the video, make some comments, and subscribe to this channel. All that good stuff will help as I continue to grow on this YouTube platform. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Have a wonderful, wonderful day out there. Peace.